seriously. On the last day of second grade, my dad took me to his parole officer's office, or what I thought was his parole officer's office. There are a lot of things in my life where I'm not quite sure what to do. I sat in the chair across from the woman's desk, eyeing the butterscotch candies in the clear glass fishbowl. When I finally received one, I felt like I had won the lottery from a simple candy. I always associate that day with the lottery. I was too young to know what a parole officer was, but I knew what the lottery was. In fact, when we walked through those doors, that's what my father told me the building was. He told me that he had won too much money on a lottery ticket, that we couldn't get the cash from Publix like we did with his semi-regular smaller rewards. We had to go to a special office to get it. I was so excited about the butterscotch that I didn't notice leaving the office with not a single new dollar. Candy and gambling are a lot alike in that way. A brief moment of pure ecstasy, and then it's gone. When I was a child, my father asked me to keep a lot of secrets from my mother. From everyone, actually. He would pick me up from the bus stop, and before even saying hello, he'd say, "If Grandma asks, you had a good time at the Science Museum today." I hadn't even managed to close the car door. On the way home from days like that, we would stop at the convenience store. He'd buy lottery tickets and scratch-offs and a brisk pink lemonade for me. My hush money. As a kid, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I was getting a treat for being my dad's good luck charm. He used the minute I was born as his lucky numbers after all. 907. Every single time he would buy a pick-free lottery ticket, he would use the numbers 907 for me. He'd let me put the money in the machines and press the buttons on those vending machines for scratch-offs at the grocery stores. Sometimes, if I was lucky, I would get to be the one to scratch them off while he drove. He was normalizing the idea of gambling. He was trying to make me like him. My father was a pathological liar. I didn't always think that. Some of his lies were to protect me. I had attachment issues as a child, so when my father went to go see a movie after I went to bed, he said he was just going to take out the trash and that he'd be right back. I listened and listened for him to come back, but he didn't. Or when he told us that we weren't going to lose our house, or that my parents weren't getting a divorce. He didn't want to disappoint me. If he disappointed me, then I wouldn't like him, so he couldn't say no to me. If he was saying no, then he was upsetting me in the short term. But with all the lying, the long-term effects were the big issue. He was actively making me not like him. And sometimes, that was the worst part. For those of you who know me and heard what Israel said, I love concerts. Live music is the one thing that can save me better than anything else. And my dad was the same way. We always went to concerts together, even my teeny bopper crap, as he would call it. Whenever my favorite bands were coming to town, I would ask my dad for tickets. He'd promise me up and down that we would go, and sometimes we would. He'd take the credit card that my mom gave me for emergencies and buy obstructed view tickets that he didn't think she would notice on a credit card statement. But more often than not, he would promise and let me get so excited, only for everything to come crashing down the day of the show. A call that our trip to New York had been canceled only 2 hours before our supposed flight time. As I grew up, my relationship with my father started to strain because of events like this. On the rare times he would come through, he'd make my mom take me to shows he'd gotten me tickets for. Suddenly, my teeny bopper crap wasn't cutting it anymore. As I discovered my own music taste, the one thing he was able to bond with me over came crashing down. Suddenly, he didn't see me as the little girl who went to see Bruce Springsteen with him in kindergarten. He didn't see me as the girl who he could tote around having met little Steven of the E Street Band. He didn't see me as the little girl who loved Billy Joel. I was an emo kid with undiagnosed autism that he saw as an attitude problem. My cousin, on the other hand, fell right into my old spot. So when Billy Joel came to town, I was out of the picture. My cousin got to see one of my dream artists instead. My dad only came through when it was something that he loved. And the one thing he loved more than anything, including me, was Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. I spent my entire childhood thinking that Bruce Springsteen and my father were close personal friends. Yeah. My father claimed to work for Backstreets, a fan magazine and online forum dedicated to Bruce Springsteen fandom content. I remember looking for my father on television when Bruce Springsteen played the Super Bowl in Tampa. I didn't realize that getting to meet members of the band was just part of the VIP ticket package. I remember thinking my dad was so cool though. And then one day, I stopped seeing his friends. We stopped receiving bootlegged concerts and saltwater taffy in the mail. It was like an entire community had just disappeared, and I didn't know why. Until one day, I decided to Google my dad. I came across an article in the St. Pete Times, Death and Betrayal in Chat Room. That's when I discovered the truth. Not only was my dad lying to our family and friends, but he was lying to strangers on the internet. He made a fake post pretending to be a friend, claiming that he had died. I still don't know why he did this, but shout out to Michael Cruz, the author of the article. He works for Politico now and won a journalistic award for covering my dad's lies. Because everyone was so confused and angry as to why someone as involved as my father would do something like that, Backstreets shut down. An entire community just gone. When I saw that article in high school, everything kind of clicked for me. The way I'd always seen my father as a hero had faded a lot over time, and I never knew why. The constant lies and disappointment and everything I'd ever been hurt by had culminated in this. It was never about protecting me. It was always about pushing his luck. He was a gambler, after all. After that, I had to push my luck too. I cut all ties with him in 2019. His luck had run out. But for me, I was on a winning streak. To be honest, I kind of struggled how I was able to describe how I was able to overcome all of this in a way that makes me unstoppable. I have severe trust issues and want to plan everything down to the millimeter. I am controlling as hell. But while I'd like to be able to ease the struggles that come with these things, being able to be controlling in the first place reminds me that I'm able to do things for myself now. I don't have to rely on my father and broken promises and false hope to be able to do the things that I want to do. Being an adult and having a job and having money to spend on bands that I want to see is the most liberating thing ever. Growing up and getting away did make me unstoppable after all. It gave me a sense of independence. It reminded me that at the end of the day, the house always wins.
Oh, wow.